average student and had like terrible ADHD.
Coffee, Adderall, it gets the brain going. But I have tried to wean off of it because I don't want it not to work when I need it.
You're drowning in the sea of overstimulation and digital distractions.
Overstimulated.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Overstimulated. My name's Cameron. I'm here with Sophia Murphy, Gabe, and our guest today, Sam Mumper. Is that correct? Is that how I say it?
Yeah.
And then your artist name is?
Sam Alesandri.
Okay, great. So Sam is a singer-songwriter from Ohio, and she's a student here, and you are a junior?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, we're having her on today to talk a little bit about her music and her upcoming EP and just kind of everything that she does on a daily basis. So, yeah, Sam, you want to talk a little bit about like where you're from and how you got invested in music to begin with?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. This is super cool. But I grew up in Cincinnati. My family was very much sports oriented growing up, so music was never really a big thing. But I got a guitar in like second grade, collected dust for 4 years in my room, and then I picked it up and watched some YouTube videos and figured out how to play. And I just kind of been singing, so I wanted that accompaniment. And I didn't actually start doing it like seriously until like junior year of high school. I had been writing songs, but that was the first time I actually released a song on Spotify or anything like that. And I was like, okay, wait, this is cool. So yeah, just kind of went from there. So
awesome. So what was like the first experience you had like singing or playing guitar? Did you just did you do choir in high school, middle school, something like that that got you originally invested in it? Or?
So the first thing that I did, like my first time singing in front of people, I camped when I was younger with my family, and our campground would do karaoke nights. And I was 10 years old, and I sang Chicken Fried by Zach Brown in front of everybody. And that's like the first time I sang in front of people, and I've literally been singing ever since that. So
awesome. And like, do you get, obviously you've kind of grown a social media presence online. Is it like nerve-wracking, like putting yourself on the internet or like singing in front of just a bunch of people that can judge you? Or
the singing part isn't as nerve-wracking anymore, but like I'm trying to incorporate more like content just to like make it more personable. That part's nerve-wracking because singing, I'm just singing songs that they know, songs that they like, but like the putting myself out there more in terms of like personally, that's a little bit more nerve-wracking. So
okay. So I know Gabe has been trying to like write like his own stuff. I'm like super interested on how you write, like how you sit down, and I don't know. I just could never comprehend how to like write stuff. I just feel like I just like overthink and like second guess myself everything I would write down, especially releasing like original music.
Yeah, honestly, you'd be surprised. Like you're gonna write down. So I write down just like little blurbs of things that I think about throughout the day. Like I'll be sitting in class and I'll just like I have a whole notes app in my phone with like words, phrases that I just think are cool to like incorporate into a song. So like I'll write those down and then I'll look at it the next day and I'm like, that is stupid. I'm not doing that. But there's some that stick. Usually people always ask, they're like, what do you come up with first, like the lyrics or the music? And it's a little bit of both. Like sometimes I'll be like messing around on guitar and I figure out something cool and I'm like, okay, like what words do I put with this? But a lot of times it's lyrics first and you kind of, it flows. Like if I don't write a song, like an entire song in a night, it's probably not getting finished for another like 5 months.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
I've heard like people will just stay up until like 5 a.m. just trying to finish something, because once you like call it quits for a night and try to go back, it's really hard to like keep the momentum going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard to zone back in to like whatever you were feeling when you were writing the first part. So
yeah. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about like the whole commercial side of things. So your friend Mia, she told me that you've been like recording things for like actually at a studio in like LA or something.
No, actually.
Or did she just pull that out of her?
I recorded, so my entire EP that's coming out at the end of April was actually recorded in my bedroom, like at my house in Oxford.
So do you have like a studio, or like how do you record everything?
So my manager and my producer came to Oxford. My My manager, actually, she's from Minnesota, but she just moved to New York. So she flew in, and my producer's from Nashville, so he drove up. They're both younger. They're both like around our age. So they drove up. My producer brought all of his equipment and stuff, set up in my room. I sang in my closet. We played guitar just in like the main room. It was just, yeah, no studios or anything. I've actually never recorded in a studio. It's always been like bedrooms or basements converted to studios. So
that's wild. We actually used to record in the studio. Like I had I had another podcast before this one, and I ended up just like calling it quits at one point. But like, there was like a studio uptown called like High Street Records or something. Yeah. And it was actually a really nice studio. And he didn't charge you that much money, but then he graduated and then he like left. So that was a shame. But yeah. Okay. You want to talk to us about a little bit about like your family, like your family life, your family dynamic at home? How close are you to them? And like your childhood?
I know I mentioned this before, but like we were very sports oriented. So like we all grew up playing sports, and that was like our big thing. I have 2 younger siblings. My brother's actually a freshman here, and my sister's a sophomore in high school. But I mean, we were all super close growing up. My parents are my best friends, so it's a fun dynamic. But sports is like the big thing that pulls us together. So like I played soccer and softball. My brother played basketball, football, baseball. My sister plays lacrosse and soccer.
Okay, let's talk about like where you pull inspiration for your music. Is it things that are like struggles in your life, or things that make you happy in your life, or a mix of both? Or
yeah, it's kind of all of the above. Sometimes too. This is gonna sound so nerdy, but I really like reading books, and a lot of the times, like the plots in the books, it like gives me some inspiration and some ideas as to what to write about. Just because like sometimes there's periods of my life where there's absolutely nothing going on, so it's easier to pull from like something else that I'm watching, something that I'm reading, and just to kind of make up a story with that. So.
And so you're a student here, right?
Yes.
Okay, and so what's your major?
Nothing to do with music. It's kinesiology and nutrition double major.
I was kinesiology with a nutrition minor, yeah. Now I'm bio, but...
Okay, I switched from bio.
Yeah. Well, I switched from kinesiology. I mean, it's a great music career.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's wild. Do you see like a world where you don't do something in music, or are you really passionate about kinesiology and stuff? Or are you more into music?
I am definitely passionate about kinesiology. And with music, I've always just said, like, if an opportunity presents itself, like, I'll take it. So it's kind of just something that I'm doing side by side that I'd like to stick with for as long as I can. I haven't really had to choose yet. And everybody who's, like, worked with me has been super, like, adjusting. They've adjusted to my college schedule. So that doesn't bother them or anything, but it's been nice to do them simultaneously. But
yeah, that's impressive. You must be very like busy like all the time.
It's life gets hectic. Yeah.
Do you go out much here, or like get yourself involved in other orgs and stuff?
Yeah, so I'm in an a cappella group, and I'm actually the music director of that this year, and I'm also in a pre-health fraternity, and I'm the president of that this year. So
oh, nice.
So yeah, life gets hectic.
Yeah, I bet. Okay. Has it been hard to not like get distracted here? I feel like there's a lot of distractions at Miami.
There are a lot of distractions, and I feel like it's also hard to like divvy up your time to figure out like what you should put time toward. In terms of music, that probably, like my personal music probably takes a little bit of a back burner to like school and stuff like that. But that's something that I mean, when everybody asks, I'm transparent about that. But yeah, and also, I mean, it's Miami, so it's easy to get distracted.
Right. Shit, I fucking forgot my question again. This is brutal. Do you believe in manifesting things into existence, especially like in the music industry? That was a question I wanted to ask you.
Actually, like a little bit. And like, it's not necessarily something that obviously happens right away, but like I have had my music Instagram since I was in like 7th grade.
That's wild.
I've archived most of the posts from them.
I saw that you
because-
had like separate accounts too between like
Yeah.
your. I know AJ does that too.
Yeah.
As like a separate one.
Yeah, it just kind of, well, since I was so young when I started that account, my parents really didn't want me to put my like personal information out. So that's why I use a stage name. I'm going to expose myself. My first Instagram like username handle was Sam Melody. It was disgusting. So we switched that to Sam Alesandri. But
And what's the Alesandri?
Alesandri is actually my middle name.
Okay.
So yeah, so I just kind of pulled that. It's like my mom's maiden name, but before they shortened it before coming to America. So just kind of some cool family history. But like in terms of manifesting things, I would always follow these like big accounts, and they'd get posted on these different accounts that would repost normal artists. And I was like, oh my God, that would be so cool to do one day. Like that would be awesome. And I get to like late in high school and college, and like that actually happened. So it's kind of something that like took time, but I definitely believe in like manifesting things in the music industry.
Yeah. Yeah. Have there ever been times that you just like wanted to quit, or have you just been very like consistent, like believing in yourself along the way?
It's not necessarily like quitting. I just have never wanted it to get to a point where I feel burnout.
Yeah.
So it's very much, it comes in waves. Like I'm really into it for a set number of months, and then I kind of back off a little bit if I feel like I'm getting burnout or like losing the creative spark. And then I'll just kind of jump back into it when I feel like it. So.
Okay. And so a lot of what you put out like on Spotify and stuff it's been covers, right?
So I have one cover on Spotify. Well, two covers now on Spotify.
Okay.
And then two originals. So.
Okay. And didn't you release like an Eminem one that like blew
did.
up, right?
I did. So I actually covered that on TikTok, and that's kind of how I grew my following on TikTok. It has like 6.8 million views right now, and people loved it. So I was like, okay, let's record a cover of it, and it now has like over 1 million streams on Spotify. So that one's like my big one that's blown up.
That's wild. And just on the more technical side, is there like copyright stuff on that? Do you have to like get that cleared, or like how do covers work when you're posting covers?
So basically when you submit music to be like distributed to different platforms, you actually go through a single distributor. So I use a certain one, and they kind of take care of the copyright stuff for you. So they cover all the copyright and the legal stuff, but I have to pay like a $12 fee a year. So
that's
it's
not bad at all.
like nothing.
Yeah.
So they kind of cover that for you when you submit through them.
So what do your managers do? And you said you had a manager and a producer. So
Yeah.
how much are they doing that like you don't have to do? Like how much of the burden do they take off of your shoulders?
So my producer, he obviously does all like the producing, the behind the scenes stuff with releases and stuff like that. My manager she's amazing. She literally will just text me on the daily, and she'll be like, hey, like, do you need this done? Or like she'll keep me on track because my brain's all over the place during school. So she's like, hey,
Right.
like we should get this done. And I'm like, okay, cool. She covers a lot of the social media aspect, helps with that, helps with releases, promotion stuff. She's one of the most creative people I've met. So like she's got so many cute and fun ideas for promo and merch that we might be doing, which is exciting. So
Awesome.
She just makes a lot of the things that I never thought were possible on my own much more realistic, which is it's also motivating. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I don't think you answered this already, but how did you meet these two people originally?
so-
I know you said one was from
Yeah.
Minnesota and the other was from, I forget.
Nashville.
Nashville.
Yeah.
But how'd you meet them originally?
So basically, Sammy is my manager. Her name is Sammy. And I'll plug her real quick. Her management company is Good Company Creations. But she was just starting up her business, and she was commenting on like all of my TikToks. She would like be consistently.
She wanted you.
Oh yeah, she was consistently. We joke about this all the time, like commenting on every single one of my videos. And she ended up reaching out to me over DM, and I'd had a couple DMs like this before, but she seemed a little bit different because she was younger and like talked about how fresh this is, and like how she really just wanted to help me, and it wasn't necessarily something that she was like looking for as a resume builder. Like she genuinely wanted the experience. So I actually started working with her. We hadn't met yet, so this was all over like FaceTime and text. And then I signed with her, and then I met her like a couple months later. So
Awesome. What does the signing look like on a contract with a manager? I'm just so interested in all this because like I take classes on it and everything, and I don't see it firsthand.
Yeah.
I've never seen any of it firsthand. I just like hear about it.
yeah. So she basically, it was really formal when she sent it over. I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, this
it a
is
bunch of
intimidating.
pages?
It was a bunch of pages. It had different clauses, and it basically talked about like my responsibilities to her because I'm signed with her. And like it talks about like the contract extensions, ending the contract, like what the terms are if you want to do that. It talks about her role and how she's supposed to support me and what I'm doing. Obviously mentions like the cut of like what she makes versus like what I would make. So yeah, it's a bunch of like the legal stuff, but she's always been very much like, listen, like whatever's in this contract is flexible. Like we can talk about this and we can figure it out. She's like, I genuinely, like, I'm excited to be working with you. So yeah.
Because I know a lot of the time in the music industry, like people are honestly out to get you. And Gabe, do you mind if we bring up your story that happened with you recently? Do you want to talk about it?
I mean, yeah, sure. So, me and Cam play at Brick, and we like made like websites.
Not me,
stuff like that.
different.
Yeah, different Cam. So yeah, Cam squared. But so we were like looking to play outside of Brick eventually. Like we just started like music production and stuff like that, making like not just remixes, something more original. So like, you know, you kind of like wait for opportunities as you're kind of, you know, manifesting that. And we got like reached out by some dude, and I just get a DM that was like, want to play in New York, and I was like, this is such like BS. Like, and I was like, yeah.
All right, continue.
We'll wait for the door to open up and close. Word. Okay. Fuck.
You got an email or a DM?
Yeah, I got DM'd, and
New
I was
York.
like, yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to play in New York? It was like pretty much the whole thing. And he was like, okay, well, like, I'm like a talent agent or something like that, and I'm like looking for people to come play in New York. Like, we're gonna play at this place called Nebula, and I was like, that's so cool. And like, I just like didn't really believe it. And he was like, can you call me? And I was like, I mean, I'm in like cell bio right now. And he was like, I need you to call me right now. And I said, well, if that's the case, like, I can't do this because I'm not leaving my cell bio class for like something I don't think is like super real. So I told Cam to pick up the phone, and then Cam was like, this is actually like seems like very real. Like, we need to like talk to him. So then like we came here. He came back to my place, and we like read over the contract that he made, and we read through it, and it seemed like everything was there. So we signed it, and like for, I don't know how it is for like outside of EDM, but like for if I was going to be an opener, we were supposed to open for this guy named Pickle, who's like a huge DJ and producer. We were supposed to open up for him, so we had to buy like $25 of like tickets that we were supposed to sell, so that like it guarantees the bar that like people show up to our show because we're technically no names. So,
which is like really normal.
That is
in
a
the
normal
music
thing,
industry.
especially with concerts like that.
Mm-hmm.
But so we bought them, and then he was like, okay, sounds good. Like, I'll keep in touch. And then, you know, I was like, okay, well, I don't really like, it just like felt weird. So I had one of like a lawyer that a friend of a friend knew, and like read over it, and he was like, yeah, the contract's not great, but, and I was like, I don't really like know, like he didn't say it was a scam. He just said like to be careful because like there are loopholes in this. And I was like, right. So then the guy was like, hey, it just came back that like I need like $200 more from each of you to like get these pre-sale tickets. And then I was like, he
also was making it pressuring, which
yeah,
like,
it was very like,
I should have saw that where it was like, if you don't like sign this today, there's gonna be someone to replace you in it. Like, it's just like, I fucking hate that there are people out there that literally just like take your dreams and they just like use you to like get money out of you.
It's defeating.
It sucks. It really sucks, especially when you're trying to go right like in the industry like at a young age.
yeah, I mean, but like long story short, you know, we just got like, you know, we got scams, and you know, it sucks, but like, you know, the world doesn't stop turning. You know, I mean, like, sure, I like lost a few $100, but like, you know, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it didn't actually really matter. You know, it sucks. You know, it kind of gets your like hopes up. You're like, oh my God, I finally have a show in New York. And then it just doesn't happen. But, you know, I DM'd 2 friends who followed him, and I got 2 friends to unfollow him. So that was like my big middle finger to that
There you
guy.
go.
So
There
yeah,
you go.
kiss my ass, Sam Wiener. That's his name.
That's a red flag name.
Yeah, you see,
that
I should have thought more. I was just super excited.
Oh man, that does suck, especially too because like that's the scary part about going in and like agreeing to sign to these contracts. Like you have no idea if they're going to uphold their end of the agreement.
Right.
Especially
So-
if you haven't met them. I feel like on
Yes.
your end that has to be so
It's
scary.
yeah, it's scary because you don't know. I mean, you have these expectations and you have a hope that they're gonna also meet those expectations, but there's always the chance that they don't.
So how do you feel about like being an independent artist or being at a label if that ever came up? I know that's been like recently there's been a huge like plug in the music industry to try to be independent because the labels just like milk you for fucking money and revenue and royalties, and it's just like
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, it would really depend. Oh, sorry. It would really depend on the label and like the conditions. I want to have as much control over my own music as I can possibly have.
Right.
So if they're going to take that, then I'm not interested. Being an independent artist though is tough because you don't have that support from a label. So you're kind of doing it on your own, and social media is like your biggest
Right.
Yeah.
I know
fuel.
really the only one that comes to mind that's like huge is that Jake guy that came out with that Golden Hour song
Yes.
and all that on
We're actually
TikTok.
friends on TikTok.
Oh really? That's
Yeah.
fire. He's like huge into
Yeah.
like social media, plugging stuff on social media. And I know his managers and everything are really good at helping him with that. But yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. So if the right record label came along, you'd be like, probably.
Yes.
You
I
reviewed
also
everything.
know, yeah, I also know too that there's certain labels that will support you for certain projects. So it's not necessarily like everything that you're going to release in a certain amount of time is going to be under that label, but you can kind of pick and choose like, yes, I want you to support me for this EP or this round of singles. So that's something that I'd also be interested in too. So
Okay. So tell us about like some of your influences or like who you look up to in music or in the industry.
Lizzie McAlpine.
Who's that?
Lizzie McAlpine.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with
I'm
her,
not.
but she is very on like up and coming right now. We actually in my acapella concert we did a medley of hers. So she has been releasing music since before 2020. I found her in 2020, and she's really blown up now. She's got a couple really big songs. She's about to release an entire album. So she's just very raw. I love her lyrics. It's not like, it's more poetic and not like those lyrics that repeat over and over again. And she has a very like acoustic pop kind of style, which I absolutely love. Another one of my influences is Noah Kahan. I'm like, okay, like if my music parents are Lizzie McAlpine and Noah Kahan, like I'm chilling.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I want. So I know I'm also friends with him on TikTok, which that really
That's awesome.
boosted my ego.
Yeah.
But I really I think I'm really drawn toward meaningful lyrics. So just like super wide variety of words used, wide variety of concepts used, and just like kind of double meanings. I love those. So any kind of
Or like
artist
up
that-
into interpretation.
Yes. Any kind of artist that is really I don't know, specific about what they're singing about is really, I don't know, attractive to me, I guess. So
Yeah,
Awesome. Good
it'd be like a
answer.
Noah Kahan song that I think is amazing is Northern Attitude.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that like the lyrics in that are just amazing. And Hozier like compliments him so well.
agree.
He's got great lyrics.
Agree.
Dial Drunk with Post Malone.
And the fact too that he's doing all these collaborations with people, like
Oh, especially
it's
for
so smart.
yeah, and it's also not necessarily like you don't see this like a ton, you know. You don't see someone necessarily in his niche or like his genre collaborating with some of the biggest
Oh,
people
yeah.
out there, you know, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Do you like Taylor Swift?
I do like Taylor Swift. I wouldn't consider myself a Swiftie, but I
Okay.
appreciate her music.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I was wanted to ask from like a musician's perspective. Also, is she just like is a recurring like subject that we bring up on podcasts? So if I find a time to bring her in, I'm gonna talk about her.
Are you
you're
a
always the
Swiftie?
one.
Well, saw her Red concert, but just like now, like growing up, I just don't like. I can see like why people like her music and like her marketing side of stuff that I like have more of like a respect for.
Her marketing is insane.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
like the fans that are like, oh my God, like I would kill for her. And I'm like, please don't. That'd be bad if you did, but
Yeah.
it's just tiring.
I'm scared of
No, I get
Swiftie
that.
fans, dude.
Some
So
of
scary.
them, some of them are intense.
Yeah.
Some of them at those Eras tour concerts.
Yeah,
It's
it
a lot.
just gets like
Bracelets.
actually crazy.
Yeah.
Well, who's that music producer that well, I mean, he stole Taylor Swift's music.
Scooter
Oh,
Braun.
Scooter Braun.
Yeah, dude, that guy got like thousands of death threats for that.
Oh, easy.
Like, I mean, he did something like really fucked up. Like, you shouldn't take advantage of artists like that. But like, death threats is like
Well, part of it
a
is
little much.
I feel like a lot of the Swifties found it to be like a personal thing when really it's just like he's just greedy. He just like wants money.
They're
Like, he's
protective
not-
of her.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
also
great way
do
to
think
put
with
it.
like any artist, you're gonna have those like diehard fans that would kill for them. So
Yeah.
This just happens to be like a majority of the female population who's under
Yes.
25 years old.
very
so.
true.
Yes. Do you have any thoughts on like the UMG pulling like their songs from TikTok and the royalties and stuff on that?
I think it makes me sad for smaller artists because that's like their way of getting their music out. For bigger artists, like Ariana Grande, for example, like I don't even know who exactly is under UMG, but like huge artists that people are familiar with, they're gonna be fine. This is not gonna affect them.
Right.
But I have a lot of friends on TikTok who are under UMG who are not able to promote their songs as they are on TikTok anymore because they took all the music off. So it's sad for me to watch them have to like start from ground zero in terms of like promoting their music and all that. So
Right. I feel like to an extent though, like it also can help if the bigger artists like the Ariana Grandes and stuff don't have their music on there, it might help some of the smaller artists because like there's less, really, really
Definitely agree
mainstream
with
stuff
that. Yeah.
to see. So I feel like there's a lot of just
Yeah.
Great
Especially
area
with
there.
like trends and stuff that happen on TikTok, people are going to be looking for like good music to back their videos. So they might do a little
Right.
bit more digging for music that's not as well known. So
all right, sorry, continue.
yeah, that's a good point to bring up. I guess I never really thought about it too much that way. But it is probably helpful for smaller artists who are big, not too small. It really depends on like your following and
Yeah.
how that's how that affects you.
I also think like the AI stuff is crazy how an
yeah.
AI can just like replicate or like, completely make something up
Yeah.
of another, like Drake. There'll be full Drake songs just on TikTok and they're just not real.
I mean, they have like Barack Obama, Donald
Yeah.
Trump duets. I'm like, what? They don't even sing. How can you do that?
Gabe just sometimes just makes Barack Obama videos. Like
it's stupid easy. You can go just like on to like Google and be like Barack Obama voice AI, and I can just make it say whatever I want. It's awesome.
Was Search and Rescue an AI Drake song?
no, was it? It's a real
Dude,
song.
I swear to God, though, like I had heard it by like a ghost, right? Like I saw it and like, did you ever see? Yeah, okay. Like AJ's nodding off camera, but like there was definitely like a ghost person that would post a bunch of like AI songs that he would make, and people are like, oh my God, like this is so good. Like I want so and so to actually make this, and like I was like, it ended up coming out though, didn't it?
I have no idea.
Okay, never mind. All right, whatever.
Drake fan.
I'm not a Drake
Swiftie.
fan. I'm not a Drake fan.
Drake fan and a Swiftie.
All right, last social media question here. I just saw it and it's gone. Oh, how has your experience with social media been? Has it been like predominantly positive, or have you got any hate or dealt with like
I definitely get
people being
hate.
like, "Oh, you suck," shit like that? I mean, I don't
Real
know.
creative.
Yeah. I definitely deal with the hate on it. It doesn't really, to be honest with you, it doesn't really bother me.
Good.
Because a lot of it is preference, like what you prefer to hear. Like some people would comment on my Eminem video and they'd be like, you never should have done this. Like this is a terrible version. And I'm just like, okay, other people like it. Keep boosting the algorithm, please.
That is the
yeah.
best way to look at it. Because
Yeah.
like there's people that just get so many followers just by people like hating on
Oh
them.
yeah.
And, like,
Oh, absolutely.
following them just to hate on them.
Absolutely. Overall, though, I feel like it's definitely been a positive experience just because there are a lot of kind people who want you to hear their thoughts on it and have like positive thoughts. But it's also cool too to like connect with other artists on different platforms. So that's super uplifting too, just because if you have support from those artists who you also see in a similar position as you, it's encouraging. So, yeah.
Awesome. Have you had like any like struggles here, or any like, I don't know, like maybe like hardships, and I don't know how to like word this question, but like things that maybe you like implemented into your EP, or just like things that you feel like you want to put out to the world that you think people would like relate to or be able to like take out of maybe music that you would publish? Or
Yeah. So actually, this next EP is called, it's IDK What I'm Doing. I don't know what I'm doing. And the song on it that is kind of the namesake, it's kind of just about literally having no clue where you're at in life and not really knowing what you're doing. So it hasn't necessarily been something traumatic, but it's just been the feeling of being lost. Especially I feel like in college, we have no idea what we're doing. We have no idea what we want to do. And thinking
especially
about,
you in like a split position right now. We're complete opposite sides of what you want to spend your time on and energy on.
And it kind of stresses you out for the future. Like anybody, I feel like a lot of people can relate and just kind of translate it to whatever they're going through in their life. Just because thinking about the future, you literally have no idea what's going to happen. There's no way to predict it. So just, I don't know, just emphasizing that like it's okay to not know what you're doing and to be feeling completely lost, because time will pass and you'll figure it out. So nothing super traumatic, but just something I think everybody deals with at some point.
How many songs are on the EP?
5. So there's 3 covers and 2 originals.
Okay.
So.
And that comes out.
We don't have a set date yet, but the end of April.
Okay, awesome.
So
that's gonna be wild.
Yeah, I'm excited. Very excited. It's been in the project. It's been a project since November. That's when we recorded everything. So.
Is that when you? So that's when you like. Did you ideate everything in November, or you just you had everything kind of put together and then you just recorded it?
Everything was put together in November. We've kind of been, Sammy and I, my manager, we've kind of been coming up with this for probably the past year. So it's just cool to see that actually happen. So
it's crazy to me how artists go and make like 14 to like 20, 30 songs on like one album that they made in like a 6-month period. Yeah. I really don't know how that happens.
I will say, from just like watching, I mean, you know, the Chainsmokers, we talked about it.
Yeah, Gabe and I look up to those.
That's like my number one inspiration for like music, because the guy, like the lead singer Drew, is like never sang before, and like whenever like Closer came out, like that was the first time he ever sang. So you know, it's like kind of cool to like hear like bedroom producers turn to, you know, mega millionaire, billion streams on 4 songs. But every time I watch them in the studio, like when you have like professional studios like that, it's like it can be like a 16-hour session of you sitting there. Like they just have people like playing different instruments, and then like he'll just like point one and be like that sounds good, play that again, and then they'll just like spitball lyrics, and then they get that down, get like the framework for it, and then it's on to the next song, and then they do that framework, and then they go back through all of them and then add like the drop, bridges, and stuff that needs to be like clarified on. But I don't know, I like to be in a studio session. Sounds awesome. Like just 16 hours, just caffeine, just you and your boys fucking shit up, dude. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I feel like that's, I also don't understand how they can grind out that many songs, and how they don't get burnt out too. Cause like, it's so discouraging when something doesn't sound exactly how you want it to sound. So those like 16-hour sessions are like, are we really doing like the right thing with this song? So I don't know. I think it's crazy that they do that.
Go ahead.
I really want to ask your producer like his mixing and mastering stuff.
I'll send you his Instagram. You can DM him.
Yeah, because that is a pain. That is like the worst part of everything. Is like
what was that one thing that you saw today?
Oh yeah, well it's like I don't have enough money to pay some dude to make my shit sound like ass. I'll make it sound like ass for free myself. And like it's
There's some guy on like Genius or something.
Yeah, dude. I forget what his name is, but he's like a super like famous music producer. I forget what he's done, but
that's so funny.
It's true. It sucks.
That's wild.
You also have to have the ear for it, which is difficult too.
Yeah, and then just to like sit there and listen to like a kick like 3 times in a row. Just on repeat. And you're like, this doesn't sound right. This doesn't sound right. Oh.
I feel like I have a good ear for it. I just don't know how to do any of it. Like I can tell you what, like I could tell you what I want, kind of, but I don't I don't
Dude,
know
if
how
I
to
put
do
a
any of
sound
that.
wave table in front of you and you had to like mute some stuff, it is baffling, especially for a kid in biology. I'm like, dude, where's the science in this? I just don't get it.
What all do you play? You play guitar?
Guitar, I can kind of play. Piano, like just chords, and ukulele. So
Oh, awesome.
yeah.
Nice. And then I was stalking your like TikTok and social media and stuff today, but you got like a custom guitar or something? That thing looked really cool.
Yeah. So actually, I think this was when I was in 8th grade. I was going into high school. I was playing a gig, and it was at my uncle's brewery down in Cincinnati. And one of the guys there was a guitar maker, and he was talking to my dad at one point, and he kind of pulled me after, and my dad had no idea he was going to do this, but just basically told him how I taught myself how to play guitar. I play soccer. I'm interested in music. And he goes, I want to make you a custom guitar for free. I was like,
Okay.
come again? And he's like, yeah, like we'll meet and you can design the whole thing. So I can't even remember how long it took, but that thing is my pride and joy. Like, he put my name in the head in abalone shell. He lined the entire neck. The wood is like a super rare wood from like Hawaii. So I adore that thing.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Dan Davis guitars. He's got some really cool ones. He made a Corvette guitar. It's super cool.
And then do you play like a lot of live events, or are you wanting to start, or tell me like a little bit about like the live event like part of what you do?
Yeah, I've actually been doing gigs, probably getting close to like, how old am I? Like 7 years now?
Really?
Yeah, 7 years. I was in grade school the first time I had my first one. I was either 13 or 14. And then all through high school, I would pick up some when I could. Over the summer is really when I like book a ton of gigs. But yeah, I've never done like a show, like a headline show or open for anyone. Actually, I take that back. I have opened for someone. But a lot of them are just gigs. So restaurants, breweries, events.
Okay. So it's like they just tell, like they have you come in and just they let you play whatever you want, or you get to pick, or
I get to pick. I usually cater it based on the demographic of the audience.
Mm-hmm. Like a DJ.
Basically. Yeah. So it's just kind of, they let me play whatever. If it's like a party or something like that, I'll be like, are there any songs you want to hear? And I'll go and I'll learn them, write the chords down and stuff like that. But ultimately it's been up to me every time I've done it. So
that's awesome. And so tell me about like, give me like 2 like dreams or like aspirations of yours in music.
I would love to headline my own show or do like a little mini tour as of right now. Like, these are like realistic ones that I could do while still being a college student. Like if I like headlined a small summer tour, I'd absolutely love
awesome.
that. I would
Yeah.
love that. And I would absolutely love to put out an album of original songs. So I think those are two things. Very like straight and narrow.
What about big? What about big?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. It just feels that feels like hard to think about, just because I have no idea what I'm doing. Haha.
Right.
So.
Well, I appreciate the honesty. Okay, I'll ask you a few more questions here. They might just be random, but I'm interested to get your answer.
Sounds good.
Do you have any vices?
Not really.
Oh,
Sorry, that's a boring answer, but not really.
That's fair. Like what influencers do you watch, or like what kind of shows are you interested in? Movies are you interested, like outside of music?
Cooking shows.
Food Network. HGTV.
There's like a couple not artists, but creators on TikTok that I follow that I will literally scroll through their food videos for hours. Like I could do it forever.
Yeah, Betty Blanca, dude.
Oh, I love Benny Blanco.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's fun. He like collabs with a lot of the guys that I watch too.
Dude, Marshmello makes a lot of them.
Yeah.
I feel like if for some reason you become like a famous like musician, like
you can do
they're
anything.
it's just food is just the next step.
Yeah.
A lot of them have done it.
Yeah.
It gives you so much, just like having like money in a name just gives you so many opportunities that you
Oh,
just
yeah.
wouldn't
Well, I'm
have
also
otherwise.
pretty positive like Marshmallow has his own marshmallow brand. Like you can buy
wouldn't
marshmallow
you?
marshmallows.
That would be stupid if he didn't.
I mean, yeah, I mean it's just calling for him. But I mean,
And
he
then,
makes
like-
actually like a good amount of money off of that.
Like Lyrical Lemonade, they're coming. Like Cole
Yeah.
Bennett's coming out with actual lemonade.
Yeah.
It's releasing like this month.
I should name myself after a food.
Fuck, dude. Got to make money on
It's
the
not
on
too
the
late.
product line.
It's
I
not
could
too
just make a
late.
switch,
Pick what would you name yourself after?
like s'mores.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'd be s'more.
Gabe S'mores.
Yeah, give s'mores.
S'more Gabe.
Yeah, sounds good. Who doesn't want to buy that?
Simple. What helps you focus the most, or like tell me about like an environment that you thrive in, I guess. Your ideal working environment.
In terms of like writing, like my bedroom, like nobody coming in. It's me and my guitar. I have not the overhead light on because we don't do overhead lights. We do the fun lights. But just a cool ambiance in there, and then me and my thoughts, I guess. Sounds like cheesy and weird, but
No, that makes sense. And then, are there people who in your life do you like look up to outside of like music, but like who are your like idols or your role models?
my parents for sure, just because they kind of do it all. They're incredibly supportive of me, even though they don't have a ton of musical background, but they're very encouraging, very excited for every milestone that I hit. Yeah, definitely them. And I'm trying to think. I don't know. I feel like there's so many that I take. I have idols for like different little
Areas
things.
in
Yeah,
life. I'm
yeah.
I'm in that same boat.
So it's hard to pick just one because there's so many things that I think I take from people that I love and that I look up to that I incorporate into myself. So
Awesome.
yeah.
That would be Aiden Ross. out
That's
there.
my boyfriend out there. I just said, "Are you going to the store? Because I need you to get me something if you are."
The exhaust is like broken and like drags on the ground. It's so loud. Do you guys have any other questions, Gabe? Do you have any like music related questions you might want to ask?
Yeah. So you said, because we were talking about like, do you write lyrics first or do you like come up with the melody? So have you? I'm assuming you've done both then.
Yeah.
So would you say there's like a difference in like the lyrics if you had already made like guitar chords or piano? Would you say like the writing's a lot like very different, or is it kind of like limit how creative you can be with it?
It doesn't necessarily limit it, but I think that my preference is like if I come up with something guitar first, that's probably going to be more intricate than the lyrics are. But if I come up with lyrics first, they're going to be a little bit more deep than the guitar accompanying it.
Right.
So there's something that's usually I want to be the focal point. I don't necessarily know if people will take that as the focal point, but I think whatever I write first is what I want to emphasize throughout the song. So yeah.
I'm also gonna ask because I also learned guitar off YouTube like my sophomore year. What was the first song you ever learned how to play?
Pumped Up Kicks.
Really?
No way.
Yes, I watched an Ellen video. It was Taylor Swift and Zac Efron, and she had taught him how to play guitar. So I had never known how to learn before this, and she was basically walking him through the chords again. So she was saying the chords out loud. So from there, I took the chords, I looked them up, and then I learned how to play Pumped Up Kicks.
There you
So,
go. Yeah.
What was the first one you ever learned?
Fast Car.
Ah,
I remember
Basic.
gorgeous.
well, dude, I liked that song before, I liked it before Luke Combs made a cover
like
for
the
it.
song before it was famous.
I mean, that is not true. That song has been around for a minute. Tracy Chapman's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
When did that come out originally? Like the 90s?
I think you're asking the wrong guy. I got no clue.
That's
I don't know. It was. I think it was around then, if I had to guess.
Like my
80s, 90s.
like my mom listened to it when she was like younger. So
Oh, really?
So
Probably,
did my parents.
I can't put a date on it. I'd just be lying.
That's fair.
Pre all of us.
Pre all of
Yeah.
us.
Okay. Well, that's about all I got. So, do you plug whatever you want to plug? Go for it. I know you got an EP coming out. I know you
Yeah.
don't have the exact date, but
It'll be
the floor
yeah.
is yours.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited about that. That's been something that I've been wanting to do. But yeah, end of April is when that's coming out. I just released a cover of Call Your Mom by Noah Kahn. So that's out. And
Very
then-
good. I listened.
Thank you. And then I have the actual original that the EP is named after is coming out at the end of March. I can't remember the exact date right now, but it's like the last Friday in March. So yeah, those are out. I mean, I keep my social medias updated thanks to my trusty manager because I actually suck at social media. But
Awesome.
yeah, so
Okay. Well, thank you, Sam, very much for joining us today.
thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, everyone go listen to Sam's EP and her music. And this has been Overstimulated Podcast. Thanks for listening.